St. Louis Blues, and tonight Jamie Storr in net for the Kings will be tested.
He certainly will. He's done an outstanding job the last two games. After a heart-to-heart with his coach, he's going to have to face Al McGinnis tonight because Al McGinnis has got 3 big goals in the last 2 games.
And for Ziggy Palffy, after the hit he took in the last game, this was it. The question was, would he be able to play tonight? The answer to that is yes. Gary Thorne, Brian England, welcome back, everybody. Bill McCreary out there at center ice. Brad Watson will referee the game with him. Don Henderson and Brad Lazarowicz, our linesmen. This is the 4th and final regular season meeting between these two teams who have gone at it. Each team's won one, and they had a draw on another, and they have had some hard-hitting games. This one should be no different. The Blues and the Kings. Great to have you with us here in Los Angeles. Conroy for the Blues had it, lost it. Kings in their home white. Move it up through the middle. Grimson got it out of there. Lots of injuries, especially for the St. Louis Blues. Pierre Turgeon has been added to it. He's got a concussion. He's here. It is more precautionary than anything else, but he will not play. Michael Handzus, a torn ab muscle on Thursday. He's going to be gone 4 to 6 weeks. Sean Hill is already out. Pavel Demitra already out, so they're missing 3 of their top scorers unavailable to the St. Louis Blues.
This will be a real good test for the St. Louis Blues, Gary, to see if they can get scoring from somewhere else when you got players of that caliber out. This is a well-rounded team. They do use 4 lines an awful lot, but always a big test, especially against an LA Kings club that can score goals too.
You saw Brett Johnson handling the puck. He's the 23-year-old youngster in net for St. Louis. Jamie Storr is at the other end. And at center, tic-tac with it. Rob Blake will send that one in around the boards. The Blues have won just 2 of their last 6 games. The Kings have won their last 2. Nordstrom shot deflected into the corner. Chased down by Dallas Drake on this first line of the St. Louis Blues. Up for Scott Young. Young trying to clear. Nordstrom able to kick it back in. Rolled wide. Drake after it. Drake will clear it out. Saw Blake coming. Moved away. There's a case where Blake didn't even have to touch anybody, and his size and reputation made a difference. Dallas Drake is a tough player. He took one look up, saw Blake coming, and dished the puck off the boards.
Smart boy. Smart boy.
That's why he's played a lot of games in the NHL. Blues back on the attack. Down the middle. Nowhere to go, and the opportunity as Hesh keeps it. Hesh backhander, and it'll be held onto by Jamie Storr.
Jamie Storr played 2 excellent games his last 2 out. He had a 5-0 shutout against the Calgary Flames, and then against the Buffalo Sabres just the other night. A particularly strong third period. He was very strong, and he's going to have to be good if these LA Kings are going to make the playoffs and, of course, go anywhere in them. And Brent Johnson, one of the bright stories in the National Hockey League this year, 15-2 record, and he is undefeated on the road, 7-0.
What an amazing story for the 23-year-old. He's 1.6 goals against, number 1, second in save percentage, .929. Back out onto the point, shot save made. Storr will hang on to that one. Todd Reardon came on to make the save again.
Well, Roman Turek is the backup man tonight. He got hit for 6 goals the other night. That's the 6th time this year that he has given up 4 or more goals in the season. But you know what, Gary? I had our guys look into it. He gave up 4 or more 9 times last year, and 6 of those were in the first half of the season. So people who were starting to look at Turek and say, he's not as sharp. What's going to happen in goal? Things are going along the same way. He's fine. I wouldn't worry about it yet.
Reardon able to hold that one in. Dump back off the near side boards. St. Louis Blues, remember, have a great scoring offense. Reardon came across to get it. They've got 2 call-ups as a result of the injuries, who will both be working at center. Daniel Corso will be playing in just his 2nd NHL game this year. And Marty Reisner, fine player, both called up from Worcester. They both are here. Reisner's playing in his 13th game of the year. Back out at center, Pronger over to Reardon. They'll be teamed up defensively tonight. Tipped in. Nagy got a stick on that, so it's going to have to be played back deep by Modry. Modry of the Los Angeles Kings circled back low, moved up on the forecheck for the Blues, and a 1-3-1 on the press here. Modry comes back into the middle. That's where the hole is. It'll be backed in, but the poke check moved it away. Kings changing up on the fly. Lowe moved up. Big hit with Blake. There are 2 big timers right there. Lowe can really go at it, and so can Blake. The attempted dump in is going to end up on the Blues bench, and that will be whistled for the draw out at center ice.
Gary, you talked about Marty Reisner being one of the new players just called up. There's a good look at him. This is a big chance for this good. Pierre Turgeon, of course, is hurt right now. Michael Handzus is hurt right now. Handzus will be gone for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Marty Reisner needs to be your first or a second-line guy. He has already proven it during his time in St. Louis. They've tried him on third lines, fourth lines. Joel Quenneville knows he needs to play with good scorers, top scorers, and he will produce. The other side of that is that Pierre Turgeon is a free agent at the end of this season. Will they re-sign Turgeon? Will they move Reisner up into a number 1 role or a number 2 role permanently? Who knows? But it's a good chance here for Reisner one way or the other.
With Handzus out for all the time he's out. Deflected off into the corner. Chased back down by Nordstrom. Cleared it up and out of the zone. Ziggy Palffy got it out. Chance for the break at center. Broken up. Smolinski had it batted away. Dropped back into Palffy. Ziggy Palffy an angle. Poke checked away at the last minute into the corner. He centered it. Hit the side of the net. Razor came up. That'll be jammed up and not out. Point blank shot by Blake. Got deflected wide. Blake got it in. Palffy was here. His tip went just wide. Nordstrom, he rips it. Johnson on a deflection off his glove into the corner. Smolinski coming over to get it. Smolinski got tied up. Still held in. They go back to Blake. Blake's open again. Save made and kicked out to the near side circle. Rob Blake winding up, letting it fly, and there he is, still out on the ice. He is second among defensemen in scoring in the NHL. Coming into today's play, he and Marty McGuinness, of course, two of the league's best defensemen, both offensively and defensively. They get to go against one another tonight. Emerson dropped that one back through center. It'll be chased down. Ivanov came back to get it. Johnson back to help. Almost a mistake on it. Check on the boards. Finley got level. Lost the puck. Conroy on the chase. These teams have had very rough games in the previous 3 that have been played. And in this game, both teams figured coming out here tonight there would be more of the same. So do the officials. So everyone's watching to make sure this thing doesn't get out of control early. Mayers goes back on top. Finley a wrister. Block Conroy. Save made Store. Rebound centered and it went to the side of the net. Conroy with the opportunity out in front on that tip pass. This one will roll out the center. Emerson tried to break. Finley was there. Finley dumps.
One of the things Andy Murray worked on in practice with his boys yesterday was 3-on-3 coverage down low. St. Louis is as good as any team in the National Hockey League at cycling out of the corners and darting to the front of the net. The Kings are going to have to be sharp inside their blue line tonight.
St. Louis Blues ranked second in the National Hockey League in the standings, while Los Angeles still ninth in the West, looking to move into a playoff spot. If they can win tonight, they will move ahead into the number 8 spot. Played at center by Drake. He and Robitaille do battle. Robitaille trying to get the puck out of the corner on the boards over there. Couldn't move it. Scott Young tipped it back out into the middle. Deflected. Renfred had it. They've got to get back on side, and they did not, and that will be whistled offside.
Well, we're going to see shots from the blue line tonight. Gary, you pointed out you got McGuinness on one side, you got Rob Blake on the other. You've also got Pronger and Schneider. Here's a look at some of the traffic in front of Jamie Storr that he has seen so far, and it's not always the hard shot. It's the ones that just get there, and then there's traffic in front. There's Rob Blake. Nice toe save there by Brent Johnson. But both sets of forwards, both teams are going to have to be sharp. Here's a good forecheck here. Dallas Drake in on Wisniewski. That's the kind of stuff that has you looking over your shoulder by the third period if you're Lubomir Wisniewski.
We told you Dallas Drake plays it tough. He may not be big in stature, but he plays big out there on the ice. Brent Johnson back to get it. Held it up. Looking up ice on the tip. Can't get it through. Johnson getting his first chance against the St. Louis Blues. Roman Turek played all 3 previous games this year for these 2. Jamie Storr was in the tie these 2 teams had. The only one he appeared in the 3-game set. Hesh dumped it back into the middle, looking for a little room. Raiden cleared it far side. Got it out. Reisner the intended. Marty Reisner went over and got it and dumped it in. Reisner had 13 goals, 11 assists in 23 games in Worcester. 23-year-old was their leading scorer, playing for Worcester in the minors and back up here today with the St. Louis Blues. Taken on the far side and up ice, Wisniewski, the second leading rookie scorer, and hello again. Wisniewski got tagged on the far side. Nelson Emerson was involved in the play over there, but Wisniewski's had a couple of shots put on him.
Yeah, no kidding. He's getting softened up already, and it's still early stages of the first.
Man, welcome to the game. Al McGuinness back. You mentioned the leading scorers among defensemen. Blake is second and McGinnis is fourth. Young will send that one in wide side corner. Conroy centering pass intercepted. Sent around the near by Carlotti. Didn't get it out. Shot McGinnis and a save made. Jamie Storr reaching through a pack on that one. Got a piece. Young nice intercept. Young got it to Eastwood down low. Eastwood wanted to center it back for Drake. Couldn't get it there. Taken by Stumple. Stumple leaves it in the middle. St. Louis the #1 offensive and #1 defensive team in the league. LA's third coming in offensively, trying to pick the pace up this season. They are 21st defensively. That'll be whistled on the offside. Pretty good shots already for 3. The shots on the ice in favor of the Blues. No score. National Hockey Night, Staples Center. Great to have you with us.
Murray's boys are not in the playoffs right now, and he issued them a challenge the other day saying, come on guys, let's not just slide into the playoffs here. Let's not hope and read the newspapers. Let's knock down that front door. We need to get in those playoffs. We need to be playing well, and his players have responded since he had that little chat with them.
And Los Angeles, as we mentioned, with a chance to move into that spot tonight. They are just 1 point out behind Edmonton. Edmonton is idle tonight, so with a victory they could pick up 2. That would put them into that #8 spot in the West. Chase down Nordstrom for the Kings at the far end. Interesting juxtaposition for these two teams. First period, LA's had 49 goals, the best in the league. But St. Louis has given up 21, the fewest in the league, in the first period. So how will the first period end? Probably just like it is right now, zip zip. Nash sent it in into the corner, banged up the boards. Jamie Storr played it in the corner and helped out on the offensive charge. Smolinski's got Pronger with him. Pronger turns him. Pronger stayed on him. Open in the middle. Conroy will pick it up. Conroy's got it. Conroy, Jamal Mayers in the middle. Just that pass was thrown right to him for the Blues. Storr clears it around the near side again. Modry lost it. Jamal Mayers, and the shot will be deflected wide. Good opportunity for the Blues that time. Mayers with a good shift. Back through center. Los Angeles changing. Need a little help out there, and there wasn't any for Emerson. So they'll move it right back in. Finley dumped the heart around far side low. Low looking for a little help. Barteshko back in the lineup. He just came off the injured reserve and is playing on this line. Tough checking line with Corso, the youngster out there, 18. Barteshko shot and score, and a rebound. Deflected off the far side. Picked up, and Corso in his second National Hockey League game has his second NHL goal.
Andy Murray won't like this one. I said he worked on 3-on-3 with his guys down low in yesterday's practice. It hurt them right here. St. Louis has come out with a good push this entire first period. Kind of a bit of a broken play here right now. A disadvantage for the Kings, of course, because Corkum, number 19 White, had no stick, and that certainly affected the play. Corso dished the puck off one way and then came back around to get that loose rebound. And I think part of the reason why was that Corkum of the LA Kings was in the process of trying to get a stick back from somebody else. They did it all too late, and it's 1-0 St. Louis.
Corso is a scorer. He's from Montreal. First NHL season, obviously, in his second game. Got called up in his first game against Anaheim. He scored a goal. Now his second game he gets called up. He gets another goal. May want to hang around for a while. That'll be whistled. So an early 1-0 lead here.
Here's a look at the goal again. Now here's Corkum. That's how he lost his stick. He got one handed to him, but by the time he actually got it in his hands and got ready to make the check on Corso, Corso had already shoveled it by Jamie Storr. So there was an exchange of sticks, but Corso quick on the spot. Only needed one chance, and he got a second goal of the season.
At 8:29, Barteshko and Lowe the assist. And how about if that, remember that old rule? It seems like it was 100 years ago that you couldn't enter the crease ahead of the puck. If that rule had been in effect, that goal would not have counted. It wouldn't have even been close, because Lowe was in there and almost on top of the goaltender, and that would have been one of those waved off goals. Corso's glad it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. And for Jamie Storr now, this would be 2 straight games in which he's been knocked around already. St. Louis is trying to get in his kitchen pretty quick. We saw Chris Gratton the other night, Gary, when we did the Buffalo-LA game, and Gratton was all over him several times, among other Buffalo Sabres players. And there, Reed Lowe finished literally right up over top of him. So Jamie Storr is going to need some help in that crease area there, and that's what leads to the physical play that you alluded to earlier. These two teams don't like each other, and there's been plenty of scraps in the previous game so far.
Yeah. Well, the call-ups have already worked for St. Louis. Corso playing a center, fourth line with Reed and Barteshko, and Riesner He's playing center tonight as well. Off the point shot, that'll be deflected wide. He's a center on the line with Hesht and Nagy, which is now their first line here tonight. They are really short on centers, so the youngsters are going to get a chance. Jamie Storr looks behind him, and the puck will be held on to as Jochen Hesht tried to push it through.
I don't know what happened to Jamie's vision there, but it looked like a slow-moving puck coming towards him, and he just misplays it. Oh, a little bit of an extra push there by Hesht. I never even noticed that at first. Storr's ready to play it. He thinks he's got an easy chance. He just barely got down on both knees in time. That extra little stash at it by Hesht was really slick.
25-year-old almost had that one go by as Hesht reached in. 11 goals, 16 assists for Jochen Hesht on the season. They scratched him in the announcement tonight. He wasn't real happy about that. It was just a mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't him. Dan Treble is a scratch in tonight's game. Reed Simpson and Chevaturkin, Vladimir Chevaturkin, are all scratches in this game for the St. Louis Blues, along with the other injuries we were talking about. At center, batted up in the air. LaPerriere had it. Got it back deeper in his zone. Eastwood put a good poke check on that time. Carlotti had to come back for the Kings. Bounced off the boards and out to center, and then, in fact, up and over the glass. 10:30 to go here in the first, and a 1-0 lead for the Blues. National Hockey Night's got more action coming your way. Patrick Waugh, Colorado Avalanche, heading to the Windy City to take on Tony Amonte and the Blackhawks. That'll be from the United Center, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on Monday. Stars and Panthers, 7 o'clock Monday, Dallas and Florida.
Well, if this is going to be a rough game, you know that this man is going to be in the middle of it. Stu Grimson's had a couple of scraps already in the games they previously had. Funny guy, when he played earlier this season against Christoph Oliva, who now plays in Columbus, first face-off against him, he went to him, hey, you got anything to say to any of my guys tonight? Talk to me first.
Kind of tells you his role, doesn't it?
Yep.
Huh? As he's called by his coach, the nuclear deterrent. And that's probably about as close as you can get.
You bet.
Nordstrom moving it up. Delayed call coming. Whistle. It'll be on the Blues. They get the extra skater. Shot. Save made. Johnson. Blake took it from the point. Still control. Blake again. And Johnson will move this one back in with Robitaille cutting. And a power play coming for the Kings. Our first penalty of the game. Both these teams look like they want to crash the opposition's netminder.
Well, St. Louis has come out with a good first period here, and they need to because they know how good the Los Angeles Kings are in the first. They are probably the best and most active team in the National Hockey League in first periods. They come out smoking all the time. So Joel Quenneville obviously has passed that message on to his troops, on top of the fact that they lost their last game up in San Jose a couple of nights ago, and they have only lost back-to-back games one time this season, which means that St. Louis recovers very well after losses. Look at the slash here. Boy, if that was it. Craig Conroy's in the penalty box for that. Apparently must have looked a lot worse to the referee than it did to me just now.
Could be a tightly called game here. We mentioned because of the way they played before. There's Blake's shot, and that one went wide. Man, that is a laser. You can't even see that shot when he lets one go like that. Dumped up in the air. Finley couldn't get it out. Shot, score! Finally puts one home. Stumple's been wondering where they've been. And a power play goal ties it at 1-1.
Joseph Stumple has got great hands, and he is all alone in front of the net, and he gets a pass from behind it, has a second to corral it, and then calmly goes upstairs. Look at him, all alone. The guy in the white jersey in front is supposed to be covered. The pass was a little tight to his feet. Hey, no problem. Gets it on the stick, and there's a great look from the goal cam. Johnson had everything covered down low. A little wee tiny corner in the upper corner, and that's where Stumple put it. Oh, can you believe that? This big, and he filled it.
Yeah, to be in the shooting contest, we'll be showing you from the All-Star weekend, of course. We have that contest where the marksmen go at it, the one Raymond Bourque is so successful in hitting the targets. That's where one of those targets would have been. Stumple makes it a 1-1 game. Power play goal for the Kings. Blues come right back on the battle at the other end. Lost control. 10:06, Stumple, Robitaille, and Blake on the power play goal, picking up the assist. Pronger pushing the man away, had the puck, couldn't keep it in. Nordstrom without a helmet will have to chase it down. Los Angeles, the second best power play in the league. They are now 6 for 21 against the Blues this season when they have the advantage. They had the advantage here, and on their 6th shot, Joseph Stumple had room out in front and ties this game up at 1 apiece. At a +13 coming into the game for Joseph Stumple, a +14 now. Puts one home to tie it up with a power play, and off the draw, Eastwood, who usually wins one, does not on that one, and cleared out of the zone. Kelly Buchberger has been winning some draws last couple of games for the Los Angeles Kings. Got away with that one on the win. Drake dug that one out to Eastwood. All revised lines now for the St. Louis Blues for this game tonight in light of the injuries that they have. Hansu suffering that injury in their last game in that 6-3 loss against San Jose, and will be out, as we said, probably for a couple of months with that torn ab muscle. That one tipped in. Storr able to knock it away. Played back behind the net to Rob Blake. Blake moves it back into the middle. Buchberger, Norstrom the defenseman. Norstrom will clear that one out. Rolls in. Played to the side of the net by Johnson. One of the big advantage for the St. Louis netminders, they usually don't face many shots. 23 a game. That's it. It is the fewest shots surrendered by any NHL team.
And that means concentration. You have to keep your head into it, because you may not see a shot for a very long time. And then it may be a great chance, like what we saw against Stumple there. You got to come up with a save. Although I guess the Stumple one's a bad example. That's almost impossible to stop.
That was unbelievable unless you put a big box out in front there. Marty Reisner was cutting to the net. Reisner still down there, but he was covered, poked away by Carlotti. Carlotti paid a price. Centered shot. What a save on Hesh. Hesh cutting in. Jamie Storr held his ground. I mean, right there. Rebound shot intended for Nagy. Could not get to it, and the Kings will clear it out. Icing call coming. Pronger back on the touch. All right, we've got lots of National Hockey League action. We're going to be updated on what's going on all night long here, so let's take us back to the studio.
Gary Thorne, Bob Stevens here in the studio to Nassau Coliseum. Penguins and the Islanders. Isles up 5-3, but Marty Straka is going to get his 2nd of the night right there. Mario also has 2, but the Isles come right back on the power play. Mark Parrish, his 14th of the year. Isles lead 6-4, just under 10 minutes left.
Bob, sometimes I have to go to you before I know who's there. Now I know you're there. I'll call you by your name the rest of the night. Bob Stevens with the update for us. Back in behind the net, Jamie Storr. Storr cleared it around the near side. Not out, though, where there will be some battles, some scrums. Conroy got it. Conroy to the backhand, took a forehand shot instead of turning it around. And Storr's made some big saves. 3-on-2 chance the other way. LaPerriere, little bit behind. Almost a 3-on-1. These teams both can skate. Here's Nash into the corner. Nash will pair a Price, and a penalty coming up behind the play on the Kings. A delayed whistle, and the Blues are going to get the advantage on an interference call.
Jamal Mayers got pulled down behind the play. I'm not sure who's going off for the Kings, but it doesn't matter nonetheless. Kings will be shorthanded for 2 minutes for sure. St. Louis coming into the zone had some decent chances in the last few shifts against Jamie Storr. They've had some good work in the corner, some feisty stuff. There's going to be a lot of hitting in this game, as we pointed out, and there has been. Here's a real good chance. Reisner to Jochen Hecht. Excellent stop there by Jamie Storr. That would have had to have been a perfect shot like we saw from Josef Stumple. And then right after that, from a bad angle, just get it to the goaltender, and all the rest of your players will go to the crease as well. That was the idea with the St. Louis Blues on that shift.
Grimson is out of there. The Grim Reaper takes 2. Interference, 12:51. And a power play now for the St. Louis Blues, their first of the game. Their power play is ranked 7th in the National Hockey League against a penalty killing unit of the Kings that is tied for 20th and only 24th at home in penalty killing for Los Angeles. However, Kings have not given up a power play goal in the last 11 chances, covering 2 games for the opposition. Oh man, dangerous pass. McGinnis got it. Storr trying to clear that right at the side of the net, and McGinnis to Pronger. 2 cannons out there along the blue line. Emerson reached, got it. Pronger's able to hold it in. Back over to McGinnis. Emerson doesn't have his stick. It's on the ice. McGinnis sees it, tries to set up Pronger. There's Emerson right in front of Pronger. One-timer shot, save made by Storr. Scott Young on the power play. Emerson can get his stick back.
Well, the Kings are trying to stay close to the 2 big guns on the point, Al McGinnis and Chris Pronger, and for good reason. Al McGinnis is super hot right now. He has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, and as you watch him score these goals, watch how close he is to almost exactly the same spot on the ice. dead center. He's probably within 5 or 6 feet every single time. 2 of them were against San Jose the other night, and before that, it was against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. So all in dead center. You let Al McInnis shoot shots like that, bad things will happen for you if you were the other team.
He has 5 power play goals of the 11 Al McInnis has picked up this year. There's Blake, who clears it out. Talk about a veritable Hall of Fame future of defensemen here with McInnis and Pronger and Blake all playing in the same game. You're looking at it. I mean, there is a ton of talent on the blue line here. Big bump at center. Puck came loose along the red. Nordstrom involved in the hit. He and Drake. McInnis came back to get it to Pronger. Power play down to 49 seconds left on it. Off the near side. Couldn't be taken in. There was LaPerriere putting a shot on Nagy. Nagy adjusting his helmet in his head. Puck goes to the far side, and Murray cleared it out. Now we're seeing the hitting pick up a little bit. Power play still underway. 33 seconds high for the Blues. Nordstrom put another shot on Nagy as he went by that time. There's Nordstrom getting lined up for the backhander to clear. It'll roll all the way in on Johnson. Johnson had to play that one off the boards. Down to just 20 left on this power play for the St. Louis Blues. With Turgeon out of there, they're missing their leading power play goal scorer, who's got 7. Young has picked up 6, second on the team. And again, Carlotti got it, and they're able to clear. McInnis chases.
I talked to Al McInnis this morning, Gary, about the power play. McInnis has already got more points this year than he had all last year on the power play. Now, certainly he had some injuries last year, and that figures in a little. But he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, you know, we're not doing that much different on our power play. But he is getting an extra second here or an extra second there. Sometimes teams are sheeting a little bit more to Pronger because of the year he had last year, and it gives Al McInnis that valuable extra second to shoot.
That's all he needs, boy. You give him that, and he's got one going. You almost have to deflect his shot a little bit when he winds up to take it, because if he's wide open and puts that stick back behind his head.
It's such a heavy shot, too, and you lose a leg.
Slashing call out at the blue line, and a power play for the Los Angeles Kings. Coming up as Young will head to the box. Kings commit more penalties than any other team in the NHL. They add another 2 to it.
Yeah, the NHL trying to crack down on a lot of the slashing. This is what Young got it for. A slash in the hand area always gets the attention of the referee, and that's what it did for Scott Young in that last shift.
15:26, time of the call. Slashing. You just don't pick that stick up. I mean, that's known as a love tap in hockey.
Yeah.
But this year, you get it up there. See the penalty killing of L.A.? It has been a struggle for the St. Louis Blues. In the power play department, Los Angeles has gone 6 for 21 against St. Louis. So the PK of St. Louis, good against everybody else, but not against these guys. Pronger back to get it at Palffy there with him. Little trip up on the far side. Hesh got taken down, gets back up, is all right. That was way away from the play. Blake will play right in the middle, down low, open, hit the post. Rebound came back into the middle. Matthew Snyder. Matthew Snyder had an opportunity for a power play goal, and it hit the iron. Palffy back to get it. Palffy drops it. Snyder's having a career year offensively, and almost added to it right there. Robitaille, Palffy, Snyder, Blake. Power play unit. Blake shot, save, rebound again, batted away. Pronger got a stick on it to knock it out of midair that time. 53 left on the advantage. They got Stumple set up in front of the net. St. Louis staying way back. Shot blocked out deep. Conroy's got it. Conroy will move it out all alone. They're going to change, so he'll whistle it in.
The unusual thing about that setup for the Kings, Gary, was it was Luc Robitaille, the shooter, who was normally in front, was the setup man there, and Joseph Stumple was the guy in front of the net. So a little different look there for the Kings.
There's Robitaille getting it in. The pass back to him was partially blocked off Glenn Murray's stick and cleared. Robitaille's been struggling. 1 goal in the last 11 games. He's still tied for 7th in the National Hockey League in scoring. Robitaille obviously would like to pick that pace up a good deal. Down to 13 left on the power play. Hard wrap will clear that one out of the zone by Bryce Salvador.
Well, Matthew Schneider got a heck of a scoring chance, and he promptly ripped it right off the post because of the good work of Luc Robitaille, and because the St. Louis Blues are shading towards Rob Blake. And if you hold it there for a sec, guys, there's Rob Blake, so they're very conscious of him. Schneider will come down here on the backside, and of course Luc Robitaille will be the man with the puck. He takes a look at Blake. See how St. Louis shifted? Oh, it's going to Blake. Uh-oh, no, it's not. Went to Matthew Schneider. He hit the pipe.
He's got a chance to set career highs in all the offensive categories. He's already passed his production that he had last year with the Rangers. He's had as many as 20 goals, 41 assists, 54 points. Career highs. He should get there this year. Nash got it. Penalty is over as Young is back out. So they do not convert. The Kings do not on that power play chance. St. Louis kills it off. It remains a 1-1 game with 2:23 to go in the period. Back to get it is Johnson, the 23-year-old, and the wraparound for Nash. Nash trying to poke it out of there. Came off the boards free at center. Kings get back on side. Moving it back in. Wisnowski. Wisnowski will send it deeper. Al McGinnis faked. Glenn Murray didn't take it. Murray came away and stole the puck. Good play by Murray, but he couldn't control. Off the near side boards. Back comes Jamal Mayers. Mayers had to stay on side. Poke checked away. Nagy back to get it. Both these teams can skate. They have got some outstanding players. St. Louis Blues and the Los Angeles Kings. Blake is open for a moment. Feathered it in the middle. Emerson got knocked down, and it's played around the far side. Good defensive move. Gavanov, the man in the middle, took his man down. Centered back in by Mayers. Blake put the hit on him. Mayers right back up going after Nordstrom. Checked his own elbow. He missed him as he turned the other way, and the fans applaud the non-hit. Corkum at center. Bobby Corkum missed the last game of the flu. 19 in white out there is back at it here tonight. Barteshko's wide open shot. May have been deflected by Nordstrom. Nordstrom got a piece of that and sent it high. Otherwise, Jamie Storr was going to face a bullet. Back into the middle. Buchberger. They'll send it in. Both teams will change it up. Good action here, and another call. A slashing call coming, and we'll get another power play. They're going to call this one close. Southwest Airlines intermission report. We'll give you an update on the NHL All-Stars, the Leafs and Devils playing, Flyers and Panthers, all the scores and highlights.
When you have a game like this where both teams are really running at each other, a lot of guys play really well because you have to in self-defense. If you don't have your wits about you, you're going to get absolutely killed out there. Guys are running at people all over the place. There's Buchberger with a good solid hit on Marty Reeser. And then watch Matty Nordstrom at the last second get a stick on this deflection. Nordstrom had to cover about 10 or 15 feet very quickly. And with the big windup of Lubos Barteshko, he was able to get his stick over there because Barteshko had a lot of wood on that shot.
Penalty goes to Corso, slashing 18:52. Third power play of the game for the Los Angeles Kings, and Snyder holds it in. 1-1 game. Back with it, Smolinski on the power play. Dumped to Robitaille. The intended never got there. Short-handed. Conroy's on the other side. Hesh the chance. Saved and covered by Jamie Storr.
And Jamie Storr gets almost covered up again. Look at the look Jamie Storr gave Eastwood. Eastwood went right over the top of him. You mentioned it a few minutes ago, Gary, about this year in the National Hockey League. We've talked about it before. The goaltenders are not protected as much as they were because the change in the crease area. Players can go in there, and they do go in freely. So you have to get help from your defensemen. Your defensemen have to do a job for you. Make it intimidating in there at least some of the time without taking too many penalties, of course. And there's an example there of where Eastwood just came in and got a good piece of Jamie.
And could have done it with a lot less contact right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He dragged his skate along the back of the pad there and kept doing it. Eastwood on the face-off to Hesh. The chance blocked. Rebound near side. Stumple on the penalty killing unit. The Los Angeles Kings will move it out on the power play. Robitaille is with him. Sent back into Palffy. Palffy down low. Kings trying to get the lead late here in the first period. As we approach the 30-second mark. Hesh intercepted. Blake couldn't knock it down. Snyder will come back to get it. More time on the penalty than in the period. Blake again. Near side for Snyder. Deflects off him. Johnson knocked it away. Pronger cleared it up. Not out yet, though. Still loose against the wall. Snyder came over. Snyder had it, lost it. Stumple got it, banged away. And finally, Pronger diving, got it out of there. It ends up on net with Storr, and he's got a cover. And he takes a little snow and a little bump. And all of this from what we were just talking about, Brian.
Yep. And Tyson Nash is one of the first and foremost guys in the NHL who will do stuff like that. He didn't have to put on the brakes and give him a little shower of snow to Jamie Storr. And that's what the Kings took, except look at him. That's what he does. All right. Yeah, you're right. I did give him a shower, and I'll do it again if I get another chance. Oh, you like that? Joseph Stumple says, no, I don't like that. And then Stumple gives him a little bit of a shot. And he went over like the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Look at this. Oh, he hurt me. He hurt me. No, he didn't.
And the officials no call. This was appropriate right there.
You bet, yeah.
They'll see each other again, but this is a big face-off. because with 7.1 seconds left here in a short-handed situation with the Blues, they got a chance. They can win this draw and get it back to Pronger. They got a chance in the original shot, and there's time for a rebound chance.
And the good news for the Kings tonight, Gary, they got Bob Corcoran back. He's their #1 guy, and he's out there now.
Bobby Corcoran will take the face-off. Defensive draw right here against Conroy. Corcoran won it, got it back to Blake. That's when those defensive draws really matter. And we've completed their third power play of the game. And in this 1-1, chance for them to get the lead early here in the second. Pronger, though, will dump that one in as Eastwood won the draw. Tip back out to center. Finley back. Finley waits for him to clear. Sent around the far side. A lot of room over there. Matthew Schneider. Schneider starts to move it up here. Schneider leaves it near Stumple. Stumple's got it. Stumple will send it in along the boards. Pronger right there to get it. Pronger played it high off the glass. Blake knocked it down, but hit with a high stick, and that'll draw the whistle. Face off at the other end.
Well, let's take a look and see what happened in the first period. It is a 1-1 hockey game, but it started out with everybody running at everybody, and I do mean all four lines. When you got guys like Jochen Hesch taking runs, you know it's a physical game. First goal of the game was Daniel Corso comes in and catches some loose change off to the side. Then a beautiful play from Robitaille to Josef Stumple, who filled that top shelf. He must have put that in his spot about 3 inches by 3 inches right under the crossbar. Look at the hits tonight. 15-11 for the Kings.
A Ray Bourque kind of shot, as we said. Jochen Hesch, 4 shots in the game, leads the shooters. Rob Blake with 4 as well for the Kings. Marty Reisner in his first game back from Worcester tonight went 5 for 6 on draws. And Brian mentioned Bobby Corcoran back. He went 3 out of 4 in face-off wins for the Los Angeles Kings. Stumple sends it back. Nash is up on the forecheck near side to Blake. 4 seconds left on the advantage. They got a chance. Robitaille in the middle. Robitaille save. Rebound. Finley clears it near side. Penalty over. Blake had it. Lost it. 2-on-1 chance. Just out of the box. Corso moves it in. Corso dropped the shot. Score! Just out of the penalty box. Tyson Nash will get a goal. Set up by Corso, who came out of the box, got on side, and made it happen. 2-1.
You can't get any better execution than this, but for the Los Angeles Kings, this should never happen. You should be yelling and screaming when the opposition player comes out on the ice after a penalty. Everybody should know. Rob Blake, for some reason, didn't know. A clean-cut 2-on-1 break, and Corso, who is sharp tonight, made the perfect pass across. And Tyson Nash, who made one of the best shots I've seen all year, Gary, the other night when we did the game in Anaheim, he blistered this one right through Jamie Storr. 2-1 St. Louis.
Nash gets his 8th of the year at 102, but how about Corso? His second NHL game. He's got a goal. He gets an assist in Worcester this year. Corso, 13 goals, 33 assists in 37 games for Worcester. And he's kept it going here tonight. These are the injuries that give you the big chance, the Wally Pipp stories that get written. And tonight for St. Louis, the 2 call-ups have had an impact in this game.
Corso is supposed to be in the AHL All-Star game that I'm doing on Monday, Gary. I don't think he's going to be there.
May not get back for that.
No.
May not get back. He keeps playing like this as it goes. 11-8 the shots in favor of the Blues and a 2-1 lead.
It's an easy thing when a guy is in the penalty box for the opposition. I mean, you're just supposed to start yelling. The goaltender is supposed to start slapping his stick. Corso was in the penalty box. To see what he's done already. He comes out, gets in behind Rob Blake, and for whatever reason, Rob Blake did not acknowledge it. See, there's Corso. Oh, there's the puck. Okay, let's go on a 2-on-1. Schneider's the only defenseman back. That is perfect execution. And Tyson Nash did a smart thing. He didn't just go to the net hard. He backed off, made it obvious, gave a good target to Corso. Corso hit it for the pass, and he just hammered it.
He's had improvement each year playing at the lower minor league level in Worcester. 28 one year, 55 the next, on a pace for 90 in the minors this season. And obviously he'll take giving up those points there if he can get some playing time here. Off the near side boards is Bobby Corcoran. Corcoran moved it into the middle, sends it down. Finley giving chase, beaten to it by Emerson. They collide. Puck freed up behind the net, jammed around near side. Emerson got it again, trying to move it out in front. Nelson Emerson pinned up in the corner with Finley. Back for Blake. Blake, a wrister, deflected, save made. Emerson came around. Johnson made the save. Brent Johnson making a save and a deflected chance. Nelson Emerson is wondering what he's got to do to score. Last couple of games, he's done everything but put it in the back of the net. Up the near sideline, changes both ways. Bartesio dumped it into the middle. Played right back up on the quick dump in by Eric Belanger. Another one of the youngsters playing for the Kings. That one hit crimson as it was going by and was kept in by Carlotti. Played off the far side boards. Taranov could not get it out, and that went off the end of the glove and wide. Turnovers creating opportunities here at the point. Carlotti chance. That one went by everybody. Jamal Mayers will give chase. Mayers is going to get to it. Schneider's there, centered right through the top of the crease. Came back on top. Conroy pass blocked. McGinnis a slapper blocked by Schneider. Yeah, McGinnis was wide open. Jamie Storr had to be praying somebody get in front of that shot. Somebody did. Conroy near side sent it in. He got bumped, and it's going to be whistled on the offside. Yowzer, yowzer. National Hockey Night. More action will be coming your way. Colorado Avalanche, Chicago Blackhawks. That'll be Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern and 5 Pacific with Wah and company. And on Monday night, you'll see Brett Hull, the Dallas Stars. They will be in action against the Florida Panthers, 7 o'clock Eastern. That's on ESPN2 Monday.
Matthew Schneider's got great offensive instincts for a defenseman. He knifed in from the blue line, read this play on the attempted pass out of the zone. Look at that. Here comes Schneider. He looks in the middle. His man had fallen down. He just threw it at the net. That was a great steal by Matthew Schneider.
He's been offensively minded tonight. Here's a break up ice in. And what a save made by Storr. Nagy was wide open on the opportunity. Got in, and a backhand chance. Storr held his ground, and Nagy denied a goal. Both goaltenders putting on a show here in parts of this game with the saves that have been made. Knocked away at center by McGinnis. Marty Reisner will dump it deep. 1:02. The goal by Nash is 8th. Corso and Conroy got the assist to give the Blues a 2-1 lead. This will be touched for the icing.
Jamie Storr, brilliant on this save. No other way to put it. His leg was just barely long enough, and he got a toe on that save by Nagy. The Kings defense went to sleep a little bit here, and Nagy got the puck and really turned the juice on. Look at really nice move too. Nagy either didn't get it up high enough or he didn't go far enough to get it past the foot. Southwest Airlines goal cam. Oh, actually Nagy I think helped him out a little bit. At high speed, it's difficult to do it, but Nagy's coming in here, controls it. One good definitive move. I like that. There was plenty of room upstairs. Nagy's going to be going to himself upstairs, upstairs, upstairs next time.
Just couldn't lift it quite far enough, or he would have had himself a goal. Face-off will come to the left side of Brent Johnson. Off the draw, sits right in the face-off dot. Shot Robitaille, save made. Robitaille with the opportunity at the near side of the circle. Big tie-up. Ryan Prett, the rookie, got knocked down. Goes back to the front of the net. Eastwood is all over him, and Conroy picks him up now. Conroy with a hit on him. Centering pass, Robitaille. Pronger got a piece. Ryan Prett again had it, lost it. Nagy reaches in, and Nagy dug it out and cleared.
Eastwood did a nice job against Ryan Prett, too. When St. Louis had turned the puck over, Ryan Prett was in scoring position. Eastwood got right on him and just sort of mauled him, got him off the puck, and they finally got it out.
Ryan Prett second among rookies in scoring with 23 points, but he too has been in a bit of a slump. He's 0 for his last 4 point-wise. Eastwood will back that one up. Rob Blake is going to give chase, and we'll touch that one up.
Gary, there's been so much talk about Rob Blake this season in this contract situation. There's been a lot of animosity. And, you know, I kind of feel sorry for the Toronto Maple Leafs because Toronto's gone through the Lindros thing, and a lot of players in Toronto were wondering, you know, if a Lindros deal was going to be made, would they be involved? Well, Rob Blake and the Kings go up to Toronto on Tuesday. And they've also been saying in the media in Toronto that, well, the Toronto Maple Leafs would love to have Rob Blake if he doesn't want to stay in Los Angeles anymore. It's a shame when that stuff kind of works against a team like Toronto. But for Rob Blake, that kind of stuff is going to follow him around until the trading deadline, you can be sure.
And Chris Pronger is the man tonight that he is judging his salary against, because Pronger got his deal done at the start of the year. Pronger, I talked with him before the game tonight. Chris said he took Mark Sauer, the president of the Blues, to lunch. He said, I got tired of all the arguments. I said, did contract come up? He said, yeah. They settled it. They were $13 million apart at lunch. When they left the lunch table, he had a deal for $29.5 million over 3 years.
Wow. And you think Rob Blake deserves numbers like Pronger? You bet. Look at those career numbers. Blake is older, of course, and that's why he's played more games. But boy, talk about an expensive lunch.
Man, oh man. That'll be flipped back up and did come out of the zone. Carlotti took the hit.
Is that with dessert?
That was with dessert, and it was flambe. Believe me. Schneider back in behind the net. Backed off the near side board. So what Blake now wants is $45 million over 5. The offer is $40 million, so they're $5 million apart at this point on what they're willing to pay Rob Blake. I think that's going to get done.
I do too, and most people are talking about trade scenarios, but Dave Taylor is a teammate, ex-teammate of Rob Blake. Dave Taylor, of course, is the general manager. He knows how important Rob is, and yes, it's about budgets, but I still have to think that this thing is going to get done.
They got to go to lunch. They got to go to lunch. That's as simple as it is. That'll be whistled on the offside.
That's a good thought.
Barteshko had to leave the ice. He got hurt on the last shift and limped his way over.
He's been hurt a couple of times this season. The Slovak pack line is completely blown apart. He's the only one left right now. Jesus is hurt, as we told you earlier on. He was sent home and will have surgery tomorrow on his abdominals. And Dimitra, of course, still recovering from the eye injury. He is starting to work out a little bit, and that's good news that those three guys played so well together. It looks like now Barteshko is hurting.
Now that's an ankle injury that Barteshko is coming off of tonight, and it looked like he was looking down at the skates again, so may have re-injured that ankle. That is a guess and not to be taken as a doctor's imperative prognostication. Down in front, Dallas Drake. No, we're not at the movies. Near side, Salvador. Ian LaPerriere takes it back in behind the net, and there the Kings will start out.
You have to take medication for prognostication, don't you?
Or the movies, either one.
Okay.
Either one. You got to have a medical prescription, too. That's called dragging the red line right there. And it's in onside. And I don't know how he did that. Eric Belanger did a good job of keeping it onside. Eastwood battling in the corner, kicking at it. McGinnis will pick up the loose puck. McGinnis starts it up ice, drops it over to Young. Young sends it in off the glove and wide on Jamie Storr. Eric Belanger over to get it. Belanger got it up, caught the Blues in a line change. Blake joins the flow. There he is. Blake looking for a little help. Pass went just underneath the stick of Brian Smolinski. They had the Blues caught in a line change there, but could not take advantage of it. Back into the middle, Marty Riesner. Riesner with Hesh cutting. Riesner dropped it off. Storr poke checks it into the corner. Played off the far side. Nagy. Nagy's got to believe he's due. Blake coming over. Will leave it to Palffy. Palffy just sends it out of the zone. Could not be touched up. Smolinski giving chase. They'll wave off the icing. Played around Johnson. Smolinski forced the play. Coming down the left wing, and there he is with a puck. Good work by Smolinski. Palffy stick right into the skates that time by Todd Reardon, and that dumped him. At center, they've got to get back on side. Smolinski with it, turning. 12-10 the shots in favor of the Blues. A 2-1 lead, though. Smolinski leads it. Blues on top. Smolinski cutting. That got blocked. The flex off skates of Reardon, and back out the center. Corso and Nash have picked up the goals for the Blues. Stumple for the Kings. Stumple in the middle, couldn't get it. It goes off Stumple on the attempted clear. Stumple trying to go between the legs, had it blocked by Pronger. Back in is Palffy. Palffy leaves it. Smolinski was set up in front. There he is. Shot deflected once, twice, and held on till Wisniewski moved in for the rebound.
Lots of speed, lots of hitting in this game, most definitely in the last shift for Lubos Barteshko. He was the one dishing it out, but ouch, he's the one that got hurt. Barteshko testing out that ankle. That's what he hurt when he made that hit against Carlotti. And the St. Louis Blues already have injury problems, of course, with three of their best players, in fact. Two of them centers. Turgeon number 1, Jesus number 2 center, and Pavel Dimitra, one of their most exciting players.
Boy, that is a big grouping. Offensive losses right there. Here's Nagy with it again. Nagy sends it into the corner. Blues have been dumping to that off wing side, trying to get that winger to move the puck and get Storr going east to west. That'll be sent up over the glass and out. 2-1 here elsewhere. Bob Stevens.
Gary, let's just go up the coast to San Jose. Steve Shields in goal for the Sharks tonight. Nashville getting a goal coming up right here from Marion Cesar. 1-0 Nashville. Bit of a surprise early in that one.
All right, Bob keeping us updated, and later tonight you'll get all the stories. Is Lindros going to the island? The Devils looking for number 11, Dallas Drake, man you're watching here. Profile coming up. NHL tonight. Off the near side, Murray had it, lost it, kicked around. Robitaille waiting. Luc Robitaille, 19 goals, 29 assists. One more to get to that 20-goal mark. If he can pick one up here tonight, he also would be tying Bossy. Mike Bossy, all-time in goals, 13 on the list. If Robitaille can pick up that elusive next goal. McGinnis knocked it away, whistled on the offside.
Gary, I was talking to Joel Quenneville this morning and asked him about their game in San Jose the other night. He said San Jose Sharks were sky high. He said, boy, were they good. Of course, San Jose is the team that knocked this St. Louis club out of the playoffs last year. And he said San Jose is an even better team than they were last year when we played it. We just saw the highlights that Bob Stevens showed us, and Nashville getting off to a 1-0 start. Not unusual to have a little bit of a dip maybe after going sky high against Joel Quenneville's St. Louis Blues.
Al McGinnis gave a lot of credit talking with him tonight to the assistant coaches. He said, I think they are working their systems better than ever. And he said they are as tough to play against as anyone I've faced. He says they just are very disciplined now. That team's going to have to be contended with. Intended for Young. Nordstrom on the intercept. Near side. I mean, you got to remember over the years San Jose's had good seasons, but they've been a very young organization. So their players are finally getting to the point now where they're probably ready to do some haying. Yeah,
they got the right combination of experienced veterans, and they got good young talent. It's all starting to come together, and they got the goaltending. Goaltending's been great this year.
And Blake will go back in behind the net. Blake turning it off the near side with Young on him. Rob Blake trying to move it up through the middle. Blake, who will continue, as you saw the ice time, almost 10 minutes in the first. Intercepted back out to Drake. Drake clears it ahead, and Blake picks it up. And Blake turning back to the blue. St. Louis Blues change. Blake sends that one in. Pronger over to get it. Pronger cleared it around the near side. Kings want to change up right here. In the middle, Nagy dropped it off. Just can't do anything with it. Palffy out there now with Stumple. There's Palffy. Shot deflected. Knocked down, got into the jerseys, moved back out. Nagy come right back to him at center. Emerson, nope, Wisnowski was there in the check. Boy, nobody's going anywhere right now. Little spinorama at center ice as both teams playing a tough checking game at center. Pronger forced to reverse it. Near side Nagy, and Nagy clears. It'll be chased for a touch up here, and that will be icing.
Oh, we've been talking about the San Jose Sharks, and of course we have two Western Conference teams here as well. We talked to Matthew Schneider and asked him how tough is the Western Conference.
It's crazy that way. Last year 500 in the East was good enough to get in the playoffs. This year, I mean, I think we're having a really good season, but at the same time we're in 9th place and we're on the outside looking in.
Top 6 teams are in the West in the National Hockey League.
The East has started to catch up a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and teams like Washington have really started to play better in particular. But look how tough it is. Look at the point totals for those top 6 teams. Los Angeles Kings, earlier on in November, Andy Murray's team went 6-0-2, Gary, and they never moved in the standings. Didn't move, and Andy Murray was worried about that, and sure enough, they started to lose, and they started to drop.
That's scary when you do that and don't move anywhere. Nash moves it in. Nash's shot deflected up in the air and wide. Eastwood over on the far side. Couldn't get to it. Banked away by Grimson. Grimson will head to the front of the net. Knocked away by Carlotti. Up, and Belanger got it out. Can't connect, though, through center. Bear in mind, despite all the offense this Blues team has, they give up 2.1 goals a game. Number 1 in D as well. Off the near side. Salvador held it in. Played by Belanger. Tip pass, nobody there. Jamal Mayer centering pass, and he missed Nash. Turnover they didn't convert on that time. Ian LaPerriere moved it up. They want to change here. Blues will get it back through center as the Kings get their men back out on the ice. Corso sent it in. A whistle and a slashing call. Power play coming up. Blues with a 2-1 lead. Rob Blake looking to see who's it on.
Name is Chopper. Gets chopped. Al McGinnis, watch too, as the stick of LaPerriere comes around and he gets chopped right across the front of the face. I don't know if it drew any blood. Obviously hit it right in the eyebrow above the right eye. And they're doing a little work on him right now. And Ian LaPerriere received 4 minutes for high sticking. Even though he didn't intend to do it, he got spun around. You're responsible for the actions of your stick.
Big chance here. Double minor sends him to the box. Pronger's got it. St. Louis Blues with a chance to extend their 2-1 lead as they go on their second power play of the game. McGinnis out there. That one tipped by Blake up and into the seats.
Corso had a really good chance to take a shot there right off that face-off. Pronger fed him down low, and he's been passing the puck so well. Corso decided to flip it over to Jochen Hecht, and Hecht just simply wasn't ready for it. But the kids had a great start, got a couple of points already in this game. They're up 2-1.
Not a lot of shots here in the second period. LA's had 4, St. Louis has had 2. That's it. 12-11 on the game, with the Blues up in the shot department by 1. Off the face-off. St. Louis Blues able to hold it in. Pronger drops it. McGinnis takes it. Save made. Rebound. Storr watching as it rolls back to the point. Pronger, McGinnis out on the point. Scott Young heads to the net. Centering pass. Young got it. Shot just missed. Went for the wide side post. Pronger holds it in again. Young behind the net. Young. They will set Hecht up in front. There's Young. He's open. A chance. Save made by Jamie Storr. Are they moving the puck or what? Near side Pronger. Kings go out. McGinnis shot. Save. Rebound. And cleared by Bobby Corkum.
One of the few guys I know in the NHL who will deliberately drop down and try to block Al McGinnis' shot. Kelly Buchberger. He will do it time and time again. He didn't do it successfully that time, but I can tell you a lot of guys who will jump out of the way before they'll do that, Gary.
And you couldn't blame him for doing it. And Emerson on the intercept, can't clear it out of the zone. Drake held it in. Matthew Snyder bounced off the boards behind the net. Carlotti was there trying to tie it up. There's Emerson again. Again freed up. Blues hold it in. Back on top to Pronger. Pronger looking McGinnis. McGinnis doesn't wait. Rebound shot. Two saved by Storr. Rebound right through the crease. Didn't go in. Reisner tipped it and it went right across the crease and never crossed the line. Down to 2:25 on this double minor, and the Kings are going to be worn out if the Blues keep playing it like this. This is what the Kings needed. Murray intercepted short-handed. Smolinski to Murray. Murray tied up by Reardon. Puck got away. Murray tipped it. Had it. Lost it. Blues get it back. They'll start with Pronger. Pronger forced deeper by Murray. What a power play the Blues have shown. Their power play rated 7 in the National Hockey League. Young rebound near side. Open. They'll take it. That deflected wide. Reisner got a piece of that. Back off the boards. Reardon had it. Lost it. Murray did not get it out of the zone. Good play to hold it in. Open in the middle. Young shot. Score! Power play goal. 3-1 Blues.
Oh, put the music on, folks. The St. Louis Blues got the rhythm going now. Boy, they moved this puck around on the power play. Gary, you're absolutely right. Bang, 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 everywhere, all over the place. Even when it went down the ice, right back in, get it set up. They've had deflections. They've had straight-on shots. Jamie Storr has been inundated. Sometimes he doesn't even have his stick. Marty Reisner pushed that one right through the blue paint and couldn't get it in. Back to the point again, pull the trigger. Here is Scott Young. Nice job there to hold on to it. I believe that was Kelly Buchberger going down again a little bit prematurely, and they burned him. Yes, it was Buchberger. And look at Young hang on and make the perfect shot.
A 20-goal season for the 7th time for Scott Young, who makes it a 3-1 game. Power play is over now. 5-on-5. Kings right back. Near side Palffy. Palffy a shot. That was blocked. Down on the ice went Salvador. Bryce Salvador to block it. Wisniewski can't hold it in. It rolls to center. A 3-1 lead for the Blues. That was as good a power play as you'll see. However, the first 2 minutes had expired on the double minor. So once they scored that goal, that took care of the power play. 13:04, Young's 20th. Reisner and Reardon picking up the assists on Scott Young's goal. His 7th power play goal of the year. 7 of the 20 that he's picked up. Both teams changing it up with a fly. Lowe will send it in. Goes deep into the corner. Played around the near side. Corso had it, lost it. Goes off Lowe, literally off the head that time. Back out to center. Reardon will just play it back. He's out there with Pronger. Near side Reardon. They clear the zone. Sent in by Nagy. Chasing it back. Norrstrom, it's cleared out of the zone. Reardon back to get it. Reardon off the near side boards. The St. Louis Blues, if you count the playoffs, have not lost a game in L.A. in their last 10 games, going 8-0-2. They're trying to add to that number, and with 5:30 to go in the second period, Scott Young has made it a 2-goal differential. 3-1 Blues. Great to have you with us, everybody. Staples Center, Los Angeles. Maybe the largest crowd ever to see a game, a hockey game in California. They had as many as 18,400 at a previous game, and the tickets were all sold out, and they were putting standing room in today. We haven't got the announcement yet, but it could be the largest crowd ever to see a hockey game in this western state. It is packed here at the Staples Center because this rivalry has developed some real interest.
Exactly right. Well, St. Louis, first of all, obviously is a great team, and we've mentioned the rivalry over the last couple of seasons. The playoffs, St. Louis has done a number on the Kings the last couple of years. Earlier in the season, Garrett, there was a game in here. LA was winning 4-0. And ended up 4-4 tie. So you talk about excitement right to the very end. These two teams give it to you.
That was game number 1, where St. Louis got 4 third-period goals to overcome that 4-0 deficit. That one's going to be whistled on the offside. For Joel Quenneville, though, reading the papers back home today, the fans still don't believe, because last year a stake was driven in their heart when these Blues went out early.
Well, their season, we've said this before about different teams, their season will start over again in April once the playoffs come around, because they won the President's Trophy as the best team in the regulation season last year and did a heck of a job doing it. All was for naught when they got upset by a very upstart, very good San Jose Shark club. So St. Louis is trying to win the President's Trophy again, but obviously what happens in April makes all the difference.
Los Angeles lost to Detroit first round. They made it last year as well and went in a hurry. Now they're just struggling to get back into that playoff position. At center ice, Joseph Stumple had it knocked away. Nagy kicked at it, couldn't get to it. Reardon will move it right back up, sent back in. Long way in behind the net. Todd Reardon a lot of ice time tonight. On the center, Carlotti was there. Pulfy out. Pulfy to the red, sends it home. In behind the net, held on to and cleared around by Brent Johnson. And bear in mind, Johnson's got that 1.6 goals against. Trying to keep that tonight. He's done it so far. Nagy's looking for someone to hit. Found Pulfy, bounced off him. Brought back in by Stumple. Stumple, Robitaille, Pulfy. Pulfy, a shot blocked by Nagy. Blocked by Nash, rather. That'll make him feel good. Around come, looking. Snyder dropped it. Snyder passed up. An offensive chance that time. And Pronger dove and got it out.
Andy Murray trying to get some offense going. Luc Robitaille is back up on the left wing side with Stumple and Pulfy. He has not been with those guys the last couple of weeks. They've tried to spread things out a little bit. Brian Smolinski has been playing wing with the #1 line. But so far the Kings are down by a couple of goals in mid-little change.
With 3:54 left to go here in the second period. Young reached in. Did he get a piece? They will wave off the icing. Played back in behind the net. And the Kings up on the forecheck is Drake. Back and forth in front of the net was Drake. Out to Blake. Rob Blake moves it. Trying to go cross ice with it. Bouncing pass. Couldn't connect. Grimson was out there moving back. McGinnis off the far side wall. Drake again just tipped it ahead. McGinnis came up, punched that one into the zone. Nordstrom over to get it whistled on the offside. Let's check in and see what's going on anywhere else. Bob!
Gary up the coast in San Jose. Nashville's already got one. Scott Hartnell to Dennis Arkhipov. Predators going to go up 2-0 against Steve Shields and the Sharks. Predators over 500 on the road. Gary?
Sing country? Huh?
Yeah. Watch Ziggy Pulfy on the last shift there. He and Tyson Nash exchanged a couple of hits. Nash gave Pulfy the first one, and then boom from behind. Ziggy Pulfy took a shot at Nash. There were no penalties called there. Actually, Nash could have taken one for diving there because he just felt the stick on the back. The referees looked over and went, I don't think so. Let them both off the hook.
Let her rip. Blues up 3-1. Held on to behind the net by Jamie Storr. Storr has been in net for the 2 wins the Kings have put together, including the 3-2 victory over Buffalo on Wednesday here in Los Angeles. Near side Blake. Blake dumped it into the middle. Came loose. Murray on the near side for the Kings. Trying to hold it in the zone here. They need one to make this a 1-goal game before this period is over. They look to the middle. Smolinski on a centering pass block. Came right back to him. Lost control. Centering pass. That one just bounced up in the air. Murray goes down. No call on that. Fans wanted one. Finley was putting the checks on from behind. Up the near side. Blake moved in. Nagy got it. Cleared it out. They've got to get back on side. Renpret with it. Waits. Waited long enough. Sent it in. Held on to behind the net. Brent Johnson trying to find a little help. Emerson was there and blocked it. Emerson cleared it around. Nobody there but Finley, and Finley off the glass into the middle. Back they come, making line changes. Blues get back out. Get in time to cover. Yes, they do. Wisnowski dropped it off. Centering pass through the middle. Backhander, Wisnowski. No chance. Couldn't get it through. Finley blocked it. Nash gets it back. And Nash moves it up. Blues changing. Shot in. Storr jumped up and blocked it. Nash near side saw the hit coming by Bobby Corkum and leveled him. Little leveling at the other end. Bookberger got knocked down and gets up slowly. Bookberger's all right. Stays out on the ice. Reardon cleared it up. through center. Wisnowski had it, lost it. Nagy trying to get by him, kicked it in. Odd man rush chance will be lost there on the coverage, cleared back out.
This is Tyson Nash's kind of game. I mean, he's been more visible than most of the top players on either team here tonight. It's fast action. There's lots of hitting. It's right up Tyson Nash's alley, and he scored on top of it.
And Smolinski had it, lost it. Rebound chance. Story got it. Centering pass. Didn't have anybody in front. Mike Eastwood. Eastwood waiting and waiting for someone to get there. Now he's got Young. Young looking. Young in. Young goes. Wraparound chance. No. Dropped it back into the middle, and it's cleared. Good help by the forward. Ziggy Palffy came up and didn't give him anything to shoot at. Cut the angle off in the attempted wraparound chance. Here's Young again. Open shot. Blocked into the corner by Robitaille. The Blues with a chance. 1:04 left to go in the period. Held in. Fans a little restless here in L.A. This could be an icing call. Will be on the touch with under a minute to go. Want to remind you, Brian's going to be there. You can too. Monday at 4 o'clock. ESPN2, the AHL All-Star Game. You'll see the future stars of the NHL on display live from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That will be Monday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, ESPN2.
The top developmental league for the National Hockey League. The future stars of the NHL played there. Brent Johnson played there a couple of years. Worcester last season. Pretty good numbers for the young man. He's really come along. Very nice young guy. We had a chance to chat with him a little bit before the game. He's done a terrific job for this St. Louis Blues club. He's going to be playing more as the season goes on, I have a feeling, Gary.
And his grandfather?
Sid Abel.
In the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, the Detroit Red Wings.
So they've kept the tradition alive in that family. At center, knocked away. Blake will come back to get it. One shot in the last 14 and a half minutes. For Los Angeles. They're being outshot 20-11 by a St. Louis team, as we told you, that holds the opposition to 23 shots a game, the fewest in the league. Lowe takes the blast off the wall. Lowe paid a price. Blake got on him. Held in though. Lowe's back out in front. There he is. Blake on him again. Partially blocked. Deflected to the near side. That puck went right around Jamie Storr. Cleared out. 6 seconds left to go. Kings looking for one big rush here. Forced back by McGinnis, though, was Stumple.
Reed Lowe tried to get into it with Rob Blake, but there's no way that Rob Blake, but I'll tell you what, Stu Grimson is more than happy to oblige him. Grimson coming over to Lowe, but the linesmen have got in it. Rob Blake took a real big hit on Reed Lowe, tagged him along the boards. Lowe came back and said, come on, let's go. I'd love to scrap. Will definitely be in the AHL All-Star game. Well, he's supposed to, but I think with numbers he has tonight, he will probably still be here.
Both getting chances because of the injuries to the Blues. Both moving into center spots here in tonight's game. But the Blues are absent. Some real power with Turgeon, of course, out of there. Jesus out for a long time. And Pavel Dimitrov out as well. But tonight the Blues overcoming that adversity, at least so far, with this 3-1 lead. Face off to the left side of Johnson. Pronger will come back to get it. Face off won by Eastwood. Cleared up to Conroy, and Conroy got it out, batted down by Nordstrom to Blake, and a hand pass called for a whistle.
I really like the tempo of that second period. If I'm a St. Louis Blue, perhaps not so much for the LA Kings, and trailing after 2 periods, 13-1 for the LA Kings. They'd like to change that first number real quick here.
That is going to be a really tough task against the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, St. Louis play so well when they have a lead. Andy Murray is well aware of that, but he's not thinking about numbers specifically right now. But you can see that stern look on his face. You can tell he's not quite happy with the way his boys have performed overall. And we mentioned it, second period, he knows his team doesn't play very well. St. Louis did take it away from LA in that second.
They did. Built up the lead, held down the shots. Now the Kings got to fight back here in the third. Conroy going over, let that one go back to the point. Shot deflected off the near side, taken by Nash. Moved back out for the Kings. Sent in by Smolinski, the far side. Stepping up, they were changing. Conroy's got it. Conroy dishes back into the middle. Jamal Mayers moving in. Mayers with a wrister. Save made, knocked down, and dropped off by Jamie Storr. Storr 13-11-5 in net. His goals against his 27th in the league. Third consecutive start for him as he tries to get that #1 position in net back. Off the near side, Renfred had it. Centering pass got blocked. Cleared off the far side by Salvador, the rookie. Bryce Salvador, nice defensive play, and got it out of there. Robitaille will pick it back up. Both teams again complete changes. Kings just getting this one done. That one rolled in and poke checked away at the last minute. Salvador again was up ice and got a stick in on that. Can't control it at center. Schneider was back to get it for the Kings. Los Angeles Kings here at home have gone 9-5-4-1, 18th in the league in their home record, while the Blues are 8th best on the road at 11-5-2 coming into this game. Back they go. Blues over. So are the Kings on the line change. And they'll move it back through the middle here. They're going to have to take some chances early with a 2-goal differential. Buchberger took the shot. Knocked off shot side of the net. May have been on net. Modre's chance with a blocker to the corner. Bunched up behind the net. Marty Reiser came back to get it. And it'll be cleared up to Finley the D. Drops it off. Blues back. Crisscrossing at center. Buchberger on the intercept. Cleared it back out. 2 are back. It ends up a 3-on-3. Bobby Corcom's short was blocked. Corcom then got the rebound and sent it back in. Hit put on with the puck freed up. Emerson back to get it. Marty Reisner again moved back in. This is where the Blues can really get tough. I mean, they have such a good defensive team. They just don't give you much. That one blocked. They get a 2-goal lead in the third. You get nothing. That'll be cleared out. Icing call coming up on the LA Touch at the other end.
All aspects of the St. Louis Blues game is very solid, especially the last 2 seasons. They have 4 lines that they use a lot. They come at you with such speed, and look what the numbers mean on the road. Last 78 road games, which obviously goes back a couple of seasons, a .712 winning percentage. The National Hockey League average is .461. That's just how good they are on the road. That has to do with the talent level, certainly, but it's the fact that they're such a quick pursuit team, have such great speed last year and this year in particular, and what they can do inside their own zone. Coverage is outstanding, and their goaltenders, of course, have been sharp as well. They've got all the avenues covered.
Eastwood again moves in to take the draw, and Mike Eastwood won another faceoff. Eastwood's the man they have gone to here tonight on these face-off chances, and he's come through for him. Even though he's below .500 on the defensive draws, he's won them. That'll be touched up for another icing call and a face-off back in the Blues zone.
Gary, we talk a lot about parity in the National Hockey League and why power plays are down and why penalty killing is so good. Well, I went to the Kings training facility yesterday, and I got a good indication of why in many ways, because they have computerized video setups there where a player can go in and punch his own number, see every shift he played in the night before. He can see the power play of the opposition team, bang, 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 one after the other. They can see their own face-offs for the whole game, one after the other, attack zone, a defensive zone. It is unbelievable. This system, I guess, is about 150 grand that they've put in there, and it gives these players access. They are so well prepared, and this isn't the only team that does stuff like that. It's amazing.
And it's going to be moved to the bench. We were talking with Toronto when they were in Pittsburgh. Toronto now has got the new system. At home, they have the video plugged right into the bench so that the players during the game can go over and watch replays or anything the coaches want to point out to them. And one of the coaches' responsibilities on the bench is to do just that. And they're going to have a system in January that they can take on the road and do the same thing. So the video system comes out of the locker room right down to the bench. That is amazing.
And next they'll have Palm Pilots they can take right out there onto the ice into the corner.
They'll have headsets that they'll be listening to the coaches on, telling them to look, but don't look down too long.
Left, right,
yeah. Conroy will dump that in. It'll sound like auto racing. Played back in behind the net. Up on the hit was Jamal Mayers. Helped to free it up. Rolled to center. Couldn't hold it. And there'll be no icing. Al McGinnis will chase it down. McGinnis, a +29, leads the National Hockey League in plus-minus. Icing call coming here. We talked about the crowd. 18,460. It ties for the record of the most people ever to see a hockey game in California, for 18,460.
Yeah, it's a huge building here, and they'll once they pack in a couple more in the few corners in the playoffs, probably that number will go up again.
First, they got to get there. That's the big worry right now for the Kings.
Yep.
Gary Thorne, Brian Engelman, our crew on National Hockey Night. Thanks for joining us, everybody, here in Los Angeles. Big crowd is mighty quiet right now because you St. Louis Blues have taken this game over. Corso got the first goal for St. Louis. Barteshko and Lowe had the assist. Stumple tied it. Robitaille and Blake. Then St. Louis. Nash from Corso and Conroy. 1:02 of the second period. Followed up by Young at 13:04 from Marty Reisner and Reardon. 3-1 Blues.
Well, the hottest player on the St. Louis Blues over the last couple of games, Al McInnes, had 3 goals in 2 games coming into this one. Shoots the puck like very few other guys in the National Hockey League. That stick that he uses, we've talked about so many times. I talked to Al about Al's got a couple of young boys at home, and he's got his 8-year-old son Carson starting to use the same sort of weird bladed stick that Al's been using his whole career. He said, oh yeah, by the time he's his teenager, he'll have so much experience and a lot more than I did. He'll be shooting them even harder than I do. I'd have thought that'll
be a scary thought for goaltenders in the future. Kick back in, not long enough to control. McInnes got it out. Conroy with it. Conroy made a move. Poke check by Modry into the corner. I said to McInnes tonight, I said, with all these injuries, you're going to have to play a little more. I said, if I play a little more, I'm digging out my birth certificate and showing them.
That sounds like Al.
That sounds like Al. Cleared back in around to Drake. Drake looking to move it out. Did at center. Wisnowski with it. Wisnowski. How about Wisnowski? Second among rookie scorers. First in plus minus for rookies. 118th draft pick.
Well, he's been huge for them, Gary. Wisnowski is joined in with Rob Blake, of course, and Matthew Schneider has done an outstanding job. This defense score scores more than any other defense score in the National Hockey League.
Offensive minded. Right now is Hesht in the corner. Hesht tied up. Renfred had a piece of him from behind. Freed the puck up. Pass intercepted. 3-on-3 down low for the Blues. Shot that goes wide. Riesner had a chance. Now the Blues pinch the D a little bit in the middle and able to hold it in one more time. Adi Riesner, another one of the call-ups in front of the net. Nobody can get a puck to him though. Hesht is in. Hesht is open. Hesht, high slot shot. Save made by Storr, and he's got it onto the glove. Holy moly, almost added another. Right, nice shot of you on the cycle there.
Thanks. Almost lost my lunch on that one. Points by defenseman, 121 points by the Los Angeles Kings defense. There's a look at Wisnowski, who's been a very pleasant surprise for him. Moves the puck very well. Andy Murray, his coach, says the one thing they have to be careful with him as he moves up the ice, all he sees is opportunities, but he doesn't see the defensive guys sometimes. That's not always good.
Corso adds to his numbers tonight as he wins a face-off. In addition to the goal and an assist that he has put up on the board in this game by the 22-year-old, called up today, playing his second NHL game. He must think it easy. 2 games, 2 goals scored, and even more points. Los Angeles Kings back in the attack. Buchberger punched it into the middle. Buchberger backhander, and he went wide. Reardon may have got a piece as he was winding up to take that shot. Kings trying to make this a 1-goal game right here. Norrstrom along the blue. Norrstrom backhander high over the head of Johnson. Played around. Blake is over. Can't stop it. Went through.
You know who we haven't talked a lot about tonight for the Kings is Ziggy Palffy. He has been almost invisible. Andy Murray still changing things up. You had Josef Stumpel out there sending a couple of grinders, really sending a message to a couple of players. Palffy's out there now, but LA's got to get something going.
Palffy, Robitaille, Smolinski, Blake, chance, save made, rebound. Robitaille once, twice, and there's the rookie, Brent Johnson. Those are the kind of saves you got to get out of your goaltender to win big games, and that's what that 23-year-old, first in goals against, second in save percentage, has been doing for the Blues.
West Airlines goal cam will give you a good look at what Brent Johnson did on his last shift against Luc Robitaille. There was room, and then there wasn't. The grandpa would be proud.
Boy, he is quick, isn't he? 6'2", 200-pounder. Was 3-2 in the 98-99 season, 6 games in St. Louis. There's Jamie Storr hoping his team can getting some offense, and they've got Robitaille back out there in this top line. Now intercepted, Young backhander, and it's still loose. One save made by Storr. Young gets it back. Some sloppy play by the Los Angeles Kings, and a turnover right in front of their netminder. Robitaille the other way, and the fans booing a bit here. Stumpel moved it in. Stumpel, Robitaille heading to the net. Blake's chance deflected. Looked like that ran right up Johnson's stick, the netminder, and he knocked it away. Robitaille has got to be very frustrated. His pass to Palffy, centering shot, save made by Johnson again. They sneak the D down low, and it still didn't work. Renfret and a penalty coming here, a cross check, and it's going to be on St. Louis.
Lots of action down low in front of St. Louis's goal, but LA Kings are unable to put it in the twine. Looks like Todd Reardon going to the penalty box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Kings Robitaille, as you said, frustrated a little bit here. Gary's had some chances in this period alone, haven't been able to cash in on them. And in front of the net there, a little bit of illegal work by Todd Reardon. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Well, Brian, here's their chance. This is where the Kings get the opportunity. There he is. Robitaille back up on that first line. He was on the last shift, so he's not out there to start the power play for the Los Angeles Kings. Their fourth power play chance of the game. The cross-checking call on Reardon at 7:30. They can make this a one-goal game if they can get one right here. Stumple at the power play goal at 10:06 of the first period. That goes up off the glass and over, and we'll draw a whistle.
And speaking of Brent Johnson, we talked to him before the game about the role models he's had in his life. Listen.
Well, I definitely say, like, my grandfather and my dad are definitely, you know, two guys I look up to as when I was younger, and they coached me in and out of hockey, you know, both in hockey and in life. And you know, it's been a great run for me, you know, this year.
There you see 1 and 4 father-son combinations. Bob, his dad, played 24 games in the NHL over a 2-year span with St. Louis and Pittsburgh. And as we said, his granddad, of course, the Hall of Famer Sid Abel. Back in behind the net, Johnson got it, and hey, one-on-one.
He uses a big curved stick, more than I ever used when I played in the NHL. Gary, I looked at Brent Johnson's goal stick before the game today. He has got a wicked curve in that thing. That's why he was able to spoon it all the way down the ice.
You didn't mind launching that one. The Kings power play, second best in the NHL. Matthew Snyder back over to Blake. Blake a shot, save made, knocked away. You have to be impressed with Brent Johnson, how smooth he is. I mean, he plays, as we talked about before, you watch Patrick Waugh. To me, when Waugh is on, there is little motion. It's very, very conservative, and that's what Johnson's doing tonight. He makes saves with as little motion as possible, and when that's going on, it means just seeing everything, not giving you anything to shoot at. Power play still underway in the middle. Robitaille knocked it down low to Murray. Another big save, score! Murray makes it a one-goal game. 2 chances, and he finally got one home.
Oh, this is great persistence by Murray, because Johnson had stymied him twice. He did all he could do, but he just didn't get any help. Glenn Murray stayed with it. He used his feet soccer style to get the puck free when Brent Johnson wanted to trap it, and then he just stayed with it. Murray will end up coming from behind the net. He's at the bottom of your screen. There's the shot. See how he used his feet? Then the first save was terrific by Brent Johnson, but Murray didn't give up. No, he found the corner finally. Look at that good work. Get it, shoot it. Oh, nuts. It didn't go in. Second time, I got to that time. Great quickness there. Great quickness and concentration by Glenn Murray.
Now we got ourselves a finish. A one-goal game. So the Kings have gotten back into it as it's now 3-2 Blues. Robitaille trying to hold the line. Could not. Chase back for the touch-up and an icing call.
Well, you know what's going through the Los Angeles Kings' minds right now, too. Remember what these guys did to us, guys? We had them down 4-0. They came back and tied us. Let's turn the tables on them. The Kings were just down 3-1. Now, because of the 9th goal of the season for Glenn Murray, it is 3-2.
And one of those milestones, and a big one for Luc Robitaille, as he picks up an assist. 1,200 career points. Ties him for 30th all-time with Dino Ciccarelli.
One of the great players ever to play the game, and he'll make no bones about it. He makes his living from about 15 or 20 feet either side of the net.
Here's McGinnis, save made by Storr, and you saw Storr wondering where did that go, but it did not go in. The Kings got a chance to get back. Stumple cleared it out. Robitaille stays up on this line. Stumple, Palffy, Robitaille. Third around. The Blues looking for that big out. They don't want to spend time in the zone. Salvador was there. Got it up ice to Reisner, who cleared. Played around by Storr. Robitaille knocked it down in his own end. Robitaille, Stumple moving in. Stumple trying to help. Got it. Not enough. Reisner goes wide. Looking Finley. Finley dished it off behind the net. Played by Nagy. Nagy the hit by Blake. Nagy still got the puck. Good play. Ladislav Nagy. Nagy turned it in the middle. What a pass. Storr with a save. Rebound shot deflected up and over the net. 2 big chances. Nagy holds it back again. Nagy comes to the top. Leaves it. Here's another chance. Marty Reisner. Nagy. Storr. And he's got it in the glove. They're in the game right now because of him.
Big goaltending is what they've been looking for the Los Angeles Kings. They just got it from Jamie Storer. A couple of unbelievable saves. Nagy and Marty Reisner teamed up for a couple of great scoring chances, and Jamie Storer with a brilliant save there. Reisner with the second shot. Storer gets that one too. Then look at Nagy. I get a chance at it. Storer comes out, has the glove wide open. He shoots it in there and says, yeah, I got it. Give me another chance.
Jamie Storer is clubbed down by just one. Shots 28-19 now in favor of the Blues. And they're able to hold it in. Young will back it in along the boards behind the net. There's Drake doing battle for the Blues. Couldn't control. They try and come through the middle. Buchberger got it out of there. Played back by Reardon. 8:54. Murray gets his 9th of the year. Robitaille and Stumple. It was a power play goal. First power play goal of the year for Murray to make it a 1-goal game. Robitaille becoming the 31st player in NHL history to reach that 1,200 point mark. Off the far side, Drake's got it. Drake moves it out. And nobody can get a touch on that one. Buchberger comes away with it. Buchberger cleared it up. Pronger back. Pronger played it off the wall. Buchberger in the intercept. Murray's right back out there into the corner. Murray giving chase. Batted around the near side boards. Reardon got it up and out. Smolinski for the Kings. Sent into the corner. And there will be an icing call on the touch. Kings are trying to do something that is pretty hard to do.
Yeah, no kidding. They have a chance, though, because they're pretty productive at home. 3.84 goals per game at home. Leads the National Hockey League. At least 3 goals in 15 of the 19 games. Excuse me. But against the St. Louis Blues, it's a tough task. Allowed 2 or fewer in 25 games this season, and you see their record when they do it.
Over the last 3 years, including this one, they are 64-1-5 when they've had a lead going into the third. And for 2.5 years, they have lost 1 game where they've had a lead going into the third. They had that lead, a 2-goal lead here in this third period. It is now down to 1. Murray dropped it to Blake. Blake looking in front. Didn't go through. McGinnis was there. Blake knocked it down again. Blake sent it into the near side boards. Murray back to get it. That'll go up and over the glass. 8:27 to go here in the third. National Hockey Night's got more action coming your way. The Avalanche and the Blackhawks, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. That will be on Sunday night. Follow that one up on Monday, ESPN2. National Hockey Night will bring you Brett Hull. The Dallas Stars taking on the Florida Panthers Monday at 7 Eastern.
Well, if the Kings are going to score a goal, my money is on number 20, Luc Robitaille. He is due. He is frustrated, and he's one of those great athletes, an excellent goal scorer that when you frustrated him, he concentrates more, and he says, you're not going to beat me.
Al McGinnis, the man he's standing next to right there. Face off one back towards him. McGinnis poke checked it away from him. Got it over to Salvador. Bryce Salvador cleared it out. And intercepted again at center. Hesh takes it back into his own end. Stumple up on the forecheck with Palffy, who got it. Palffy dishes in behind the net. Robitaille again going back. Johnson got there first to help out. That's where a goaltender who can move, maneuverability, can help you a lot. If Johnson doesn't play that, probably LA gets that and holds it in the zone. Instead, they have to come back to center. Hesh had it batted up in the air. Knocked down again. Salvador will clear it into the near side. And looking for a little help, Modry. Modry pinned up by Hesh, left it. Cleared up on the far side by Stumple and out of the zone. No, Reisner was there. Reisner poke checking, can't get to it. Back it comes. Robitaille. His pass was behind Palffy. A shot deflected. Stumple never directed it on net. Hit his stick, came back out. Near side to Blake. Blake moved over to help hold it in as he changed sides on the ice. Robitaille goes to the front. Shot. That one hit bodies out in front. Nordstrom. Nordstrom, the defenseman, stays down low. That one was ripped wide by Belanger. And Blake holds onto his man, takes him down, and didn't get a penalty. And fortunate. Blake with a collision on the far side, lost his stick, picks one up, moving in Pronger. Pronger gets tied up and a penalty coming. Nordstrom had to get one of them. Kings were hanging on all over the place.
Nordstrom had to do what he did because Pronger made a pretty slick move right next to him, and his stick was in the middle of the ice. He was ready to pull the trigger on the goaltender. Matty Nordstrom just started waving the arms and mauling him, doing whatever he had to make sure he tied up the hands. Look at good fake there. That's what fooled Nordstrom. Nordstrom got all turned around. His stick was actually behind his back, and he just made sure, nope, you're not shooting that puck. That's a good penalty. You got to take that 2 minutes.
He knew he didn't have Blake out there because Blake had lost his stick, and while going by the bench went over to get it. So I think he was a little worried he was all alone back there, Brian.
And Blake had really gotten tagged by Marty Reisner of all people. And Reisner's played a strong game. Blake is a big guy that not too many people go after. But Marty Reisner got a good chunk of him at the neutral zone, you're right, which left Nordstrom back there alone.
So the penalty at 12:57 will give the St. Louis Blues their 4th power play of the game. McGinnis leaves it. Pronger, the wrister. Score! Right through the screen. And it is a 4-2 Blues lead. It didn't take long on that power play.
No, it's a calculated risk when you take a penalty, and St. Louis Blues make them pay right away. I don't think this one goes off of anybody, but it's the control of the face-off. Back to McGinnis, over to Pronger. Pronger will slip off to the left side, and he'll just decide to pull the trigger. He takes a look, just a good solid wrist shot. Boy, that might have changed direction. Let's see if we can pick it up here. And on that angle, it didn't look like it. I'm not quite sure, but Jamie Storr was completely fooled on it. No, just sort of a change-up. I don't think it hit anything.
And went short side, and Storr was leaning the other way.
Yeah.
So it is a 4-2 lead for the Blues as Pronger, who had a scoring streak of 7 games, ended in his last game, starts another one. He's had 2 goals, 9 assists in the last 9 games for Pronger. He is 7th overall in the league in assists and 5th among defensemen in scoring. McGinnis from behind the net. So the Blues up 4-2. Here's Young moving it along. Young shot, save made. Storr. Wouldn't have mattered. 2-liner.
That was close. Al McGinnis with a beautiful loft. That's so hard to do. He just lofted one from his own zone because he could see that Young was all alone in the neutral zone, and he just tried to get the right touch on it. Watch this. His head is up. Where's my guy? Oh, I got one on the right side. And watch this. Scoop. Good touch over everybody's head, and there's Young, but Young was about a stride and a half over that red line. So, see again, this one may have hit Matthew Schneider. There's the goal. 10 White comes out. The shot, you know what? I think it did tick him on the top of the foot somehow, because it just seemed that it wasn't that hard a shot for it to fool Jamie Storr like that. Maybe it took something off it or deflected, changed its direction a little bit. On that look, it looked like it did hit Matthew Schneider's foot.
Pronger 6, McGinnis and Corso get the assists. Corso has got a goal and 2 assists in this game for the youngster. What a night for him in his 2nd National Hockey League game called up today. Tipped away. Stumple. Palffy in. Winds up. Doesn't take it. Robitaille cutting. Robitaille. No chance for a shot. Blake gets one as he snuck in. That one will go off the near side. Nordstrom kicked at it. Couldn't hold. Yes, he did hold it in. Good play by Nordstrom. Stumple got it back to Nordstrom. Nordstrom dishes behind the net to Robitaille. Robitaille poke checked away off the near side boards. Blues looking to clear due. And it'll be sent in by Nash. Wide of the net. Down to 5:37 left to go. Jamie Storr is mighty happy that puck just shot in from center. Wasn't on net.
I was just thinking the same thing. That must have dived on him or something, because he just plain missed it.
He went out intending to play it, never got a piece of it on the shot in. Back to get it is Modric. Los Angeles Kings 2-game win streak on the line here as the St. Louis Blues looking to defeat them and take the season series. Have a 4-2 lead with 5:17 left to go. The really good people of the game, and Brian, nice to see a milestone reached for Al McGinnis.
And it certainly won't be the last one. One of the great defensemen ever played a game. Those are unbelievable numbers for anybody, for a forward, but especially for a defenseman to put up numbers like that is astonishing.
Al McGinnis, he can gun him. McGinnis passed Potvin for defenseman in goals. He's got 312. Denny Potvin had 310. That one will be whistled as it heads up into the seats.
We got the last consecutive three Norris Trophy winners in this game. Blake, of course, and then 2 years ago it was Al McGinnis, and then last year, of course, was Chris Pronger. Here's a look at the two St. Louis boys and their ice time so far, number of shifts, and the damage they have done. McGinnis' assist came on Pronger's goal.
So 4 is the big number for McGinnis now. 4th among defensemen in goals, 4th among defensemen in assists, and now he's tied for 4th among defensemen in total points for Al McGinnis. Back in is Murray, chopped that one into the middle on a 9-iron. Belanger dumps it into the corner. Kings now have got to fight the clock with 4:58 left to go and down by 2. Nordstrom stepped up, held it in against McGinnis, centered right through Belanger, shot. Save made, kicked into the corner. Blake wound up again. Blake takes one of the fastest, hardest shots you'll ever see on that right point. I mean, he just lets it rip when it gets there.
It doesn't take much of a windup. He's just like Al McGinnis in that respect. Just give him a second, he'll get it away.
Murray had a chance right there. That was blocked by McGinnis. Shot right into him, in fact. Came back to center to Nordstrom. Nordstrom sent it in, blocked, turned back out by Bryce Salvador. Salvador's getting some ice time here. The youngster in his 43rd game of the season. Dumped into McGinnis again. McGinnis flips that one out. Modry having trouble. Young took it away. Young wants to go around the net. Does. He's got Drake out in front. Lost control of it. Modry picks it up. Eastwood moved over. Couldn't get to it. Wisnowski with it. Wisnowski up the boards. Out of there is Ziggy Palffy. Palffy in with Drake right behind him. Played back by Johnson off the far side glass. And Modry's going to have to chase the bouncing puck.
And Johnson just ripped that one around the glass. And boy, he really does have good hands. Brent Johnson can really shoot the puck for a goaltender.
Loves to play that puck. If he wins, he's going to be 16-2 on the year in net.
And undefeated on the road.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. And moving back through center, low in, shot just missed. Rebound came to Nash. Nash on the far side. Low in the middle, bounced over his stick into the corner, and Matthew Snyder had to drop that one deeper. So the Kings have got to rush it up here and pinch the D, which may create some opportunities at the other end. Here's Robitaille. Robitaille moving in, trying to get a wrist shot off, had it blocked into the corner. Robitaille still tied up. Snyder's gone down low to help. Shot, that one deflected wide. Hedge got a piece, shot, save made. Robitaille in front, run right through him on Blake's chance. Back the other way, the Blues, they want to change. Will gun it in from center. Jamie Story held up. Kings will change it up as well. Robitaille's line off there. Drop pass. Nobody was over there except Nagy. Nagy on the blue line, trying to hold it in. Couldn't. Got help from Conroy. Deflected away. Von Blake got it up. Look into the middle for Murray. Murray instead sets a little pick here. They were onside. Couldn't do anything with it. Conroy open for a moment. Conroy forehander. Save made by Storr. Conroy backs it in behind the net. Down to 2:29 to go in this third period. Blues have got to get back on side. McGinnis held it along the line. Ian LaPerriere knocked it away to Murray.
You know who's played well tonight for St. Louis too, Gary, is Nagy. Nagy's made some really nice plays out there. He's had the puck an awful lot tonight, as much as anybody in this game. The puck on his stick.
Seems to know where it's going to be. One of those guys who gets there. Belanger looking, takes it, deflected wide. Johnson put the end of the stick on it, just redirected that one. Kings near side, down to the 2-minute mark here in the third period. Murray back up on top. Shot by Modry, deflects off a lot of bodies wide. Wisnowski on the far side still has it. Took it away from Drake. McGinnis with it. McGinnis hard wraparound. A penalty coming up, or no? They're just pulling the goaltender at the other end, and an icing call on this touch. So with 1:43 left to go, face-off will come down in the Blues end, and there'll be an empty net at the other. January 22nd issue of ESPN Magazine is on sale now at newsstands. Check it out. Super Mario is involved in that one along with Jaromir Jagr. A lot of hockey news in this one. Ed Jovanovski, the Master Blaster, highlighted, and the expansion update on teams like the Wild. It's between the pages. ESPN Magazine. It's on sale now.
Well, the Kings have pulled their goaltender. Jamie Storr's night is over for now. St. Louis up by 2 goals. Andy Murray not wasting any time, and there is quite a bit of time left. 1:43 seconds. That's very aggressive attitude. Let's keep an eye on Brent Johnson. Great shot. If he gets an opportunity, you dump it in. He might be joining that club of goaltenders who's actually scored a goal.
The way he tried earlier to back a puck out when they were shorthanded is an indication he's more than willing and able to give it a whirl.
Sid Abel.
Sid Abel, his grandfather. Finley on the far side. Blake got it. Drake will just flip that one out. Snyder gives chase. So the extra skater on for the Kings with a minute 22 to go, having pulled their goaltender. Here's Johnson. There's the net. Johnson didn't get it out. Shot Snyder, deflected, and rolled to center.
That was a bad idea. I don't know what he was thinking there. If you're going to go up the middle, he should have been hoisting that one all the way. It looks like he tried to make a pass there, but he had an opportunity to shoot it all the way down there.
Don't want to do that with a minute 4 left to go. The backhander is going to go wide. Drake at center. 1 minute left to go. Joseph Stumple back to play it. Kings. Pulte, Robitaille had it batted away along the near side. Young had it, lost it, deflected to Drake. Drake on the empty net. That'll go wide, but no icing here. He was on the right side of the red when he let her go. Wisniewski playing to Snyder. Oh, right through the crease. Marty Reisner was there. Sends it back along the wall. Young shot goes wide. Blake picks it up with 30 seconds left to go. Kings are certainly giving up some chances on that empty net. Marty Reisner dropped it into the middle. Deflected away. Hesh had an opportunity. Couldn't do anything with it. Moved back into the middle. Smolinski left it. Shot Blake. Fan. Dumped it into the middle again. Blocked. Kings still possessing. Blake set right in front. Robitaille. It didn't get to him. McGinnis around. A whistle. And a penalty. Slashing call coming.
Through most of this time, while the goaltender's been pulled for LA, the Kings just looked tired. They just didn't look like they had enough zip to get it down and do what they wanted to do. And St. Louis, of course, never lets off the gas pedal and stayed on top of them. You can see the fatigue in Rob Blake. Al McInnes looks like he's going to sit out the last 6.8 seconds in the penalty box for a little bit of a slash. When he gets in tight quarters in front of the net, a lot of stuff happens, and that's one of the things that happen. That's a slash, all right.
Well, the Blues have had consecutive losses only once all year. That's how consistent they've been, and they're not going to suffer it here. They lost to San Jose Wednesday. They're going to beat the Kings and keep that mark alive, including the playoffs. As we said, they're going to be 9-0-2 in their last 11 games here in L.A.
And that mindset of never losing 2 games in a row, they've only done it once, as you said, Gary. That's a great mindset to have, and it becomes a real source of pride, which obviously St. Louis has right now, and it's carrying over.
And only a couple of seconds left to go. Blake back at center, but this one is over. Corso, the youngster, called up a goal and 2 assists in this game. Nash, Young, Pronger, the other goals. McGinnis picked up an assist, becoming the 4th defenseman to reach 1,142, tied for 4th. Stumple and Murray, 1 each. Robitaille, a couple of assists, 1,200 points in his career.
Well, the Kings came out with a good push in the first period, as they normally do, but the St. Louis Blues really started to take over in the second, and the 2 goals they scored, they just never let up on the gas pedal. They wanted this game really badly. They got great play from young guys like Dan Corso, you see right there, and Marty Reisner, their 2 recent call-ups. And Brent Johnson, although he did not receive a lot of shots, made some spectacular saves. St. Louis deserved this one.
Brent Johnson is now 16-2-0 in net. Our final here, 4-2, as the St. Louis Blues get the victory. National Hockey Night. More action coming your way Sunday, ESPN2. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Face-off United Center, 8 Eastern. For Brian Engblom and our entire crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. NHL Tonight is coming up next after the following messages. See ya.